morning, guys. So I had a follower on Instagram raise a really good question because I had a post that I designed yesterday, and it was about eating alone, being an empath, weight gain, not feeling safe, being stressed out. And I think a lot of us can relate to this, you know, in those moments where you feel like you're doing all of the right things. Okay, but maybe we're missing out like on our lifestyle, external influences, our environment. Like we always think that weight gain is due to the food we're eating, or maybe we're just like not trying hard enough, you know, things like that. It all comes down to self-awareness. So this particular follower, and I can relate to her. I suffered with bulimia for decades. So I was talking about eating alone. Okay, so I'm an empath. I'm one that feels safe, more in control when I eat alone. Okay, so I like to eat in the comfort of my own home. And she raised the question, what do I do if I'm a binger and I'm a purger? I'm someone who's prone to like emotional eating, bulimia, you know, whatever shade of disordered eating. And it's triggered by being alone. Awesome question. Again, no one size fits all comes down to personal preference. I can speak from my experiences, and I hope that these tips help you guys if it pertains to you in any way, shape, or form. So I understand what she's saying here, because when you're alone, you feel safe to do things that maybe you wouldn't normally do around other people. And this can be good. I hate labeling things as good or bad, but it can be positive or it can be more negative, you know, more self-sabotaging. Disordered eating is one of these. I found that in those moments where I was triggered to binge and purge, it was either one, because I was restricting way too long and I physically was absolutely ravenous and I knew I was going to have a binge. And a lot of us will plan these. Like it's almost like a drug, you know, and I'll relate this back to being kind of like an abstainer or a moderator, you know, whether it's with carbs and alcoholic, whatever. It's a high, it's a dopamine hit for us, which I know is fucked up, but it is what it is. And for those of us who have struggled with it, like you get it, like you get a high when like, you know, you're going to binge. You know, you're going to feel guilty and feel like shit when you're done. But again, we still do it and we get stuck in it because we've programmed ourselves to do it. So in those moments, I realized I was either restricting too much, I was physically really hungry, I was bored and lacking purpose. So, you know, might as well eat, might as well binge and purge. I need to get that dopamine hit or that numb from somewhere. Some people do it with overspending, like shopping too much. I did that too, got myself in $40,000 plus in debt. Like, I'm just like all of you guys out here. Some of them do it by like chasing the wrong kinds of people, like wanting attention from men or women or, you know, whatever you prefer there. Or a lot of us do it with food. The hard thing with food is that we have to have food to survive. We have to. It's not like a drug that we can just like throw aside, or like a bad habit that we physically don't need to survive. We have to have food. You know, so that's why this is so important. Like it affects every facet of our lives to get these things under control. You got to figure out what your root cause is. And it all comes down to that. You know, what emotion are you trying to ignore? This was another thing. I was trying to ignore or numb an emotion I didn't want to deal with or feel, whether it was stress at work. You know, if I was super stressed, I'd plan a binge and I would do it after work. When I was alone in my car or alone. So if that is a trigger for you and you feel that urge coming on, and it being alone makes the barrier of entry to do that kind of behavior, like binging and purging, or, you know, whatever form you choose, then you need to figure out a way to redirect. One, understand why you're doing it. Are you ignoring emotion? Are you hungry? Are you bored, lacking purpose? What is it? What's the root cause? What do I have to do to redirect and choose another behavior? So maybe you need to go walk. Maybe you simply need to be more active. Maybe you need to choose a hobby that you like doing. Maybe it's hiking, walking, coloring, call a friend, creating something. Like, it can be anything here, guys. I like to color. That's another way that I redirect. Keeps your mind busy. I like being creative and designing things. Maybe you're like me. Maybe it's reading. Like, it can be absolutely anything here. Or get around people. If you know that it is going to make the barrier of entry to that behavior a lot harder and make you a healthier, happier, it's going to help redirect, rewire those behaviors, then get around someone. Like, don't keep these things to yourself. Like, tell someone. All right. So get to the root cause, understand, figure out a way to redirect. It's different for all of us here. You know, when I was saying I do better eating alone as an empath, I'm saying that I wasn't relating this back to disordered eating. I was relating this back to, I feel safe at home and I can focus on my meal. I can eat slow and mindfully. Your body is like rested. It can digest food a lot easier. So I was talking about that, not pertaining to disordered eating, but pertaining to how do I create an environment that is going to better serve me. So that was an awesome question, because that's another shade that absolutely pertains to everything that we talk here. So thank you for raising that question. This is wonderful to chat about with you guys. You guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me. Rock and roll. I have no idea what day it is because my life is crazy. I hope your life is going wonderful. That's all I got to say, y'all. Good morning. Love ya. And wish you guys the best. Bye.